Hello everyone, this is Spoiler Lab. Today, we will be talking about the Canadian science fiction film Level 16. The film begins and we see the long corridors of the orphanage. We see two girls of about 10, Vivien and Sophia. In the bedroom, girls dream of that happy time when they are adopted by kind, good people. Then they will finally be able to go outside and see for the first time what lies beyond these gloomy corridors. But now, a siren signal sounds and identically dressed children, one after another, walk to the wash bins in the corridor. A camera is installed above it. In turn, each girl should wash and show that she is clean. On the monitors, a second countdown of the wash process. Inadvertently, Sophia drops her cup on the floor. Panic runs through the slender row of children. Sophia doesn't see well, can't find the cup, and asks Vivien for help. Vivien is next, whose turn to wash, but she, without hesitation, rushes to help her friend. Picking up the cup, Viv is only a few seconds late for the start of her wash. Immediately, an alarm sounds. All girls turn away, as if on command, to face the wall. Two guards appear in the hallway. They grab the crying Vivien, dragging her to the iron door. The girl desperately calls for help from Sophia, but she stands, afraid to move, like all their friends. Years have passed. Vivien grew up and became a real beauty, but now she follows the rules clearly. She is restrained, patient, and obedient, because this is how a well-mannered girl should be. They are told this every day in lessons that are more like group therapy sessions. They are broadcast on TV, but then the long-awaited moment comes. The girls are transferred to level 16, the last possible one. Vivien, along with two other girls, ends up in a new building, Rose Hall. The 16th level greets them with bright lighting and separate beds, which seems to be a real luxury for beginners. But the surprises don't end, and Viv meets her former friend Sophia here. She is very happy to meet, but Vivien, with all her appearance, shows that she cannot forgive her for the old deed. Sophia tries to apologize, but Vivien doesn't want to hear her apology. The next signal calls the girls, and the mentor, Mrs. Brixel, informs them of the good news. Sponsors will appear very soon. They will choose their daughters and the girls will begin a different life for which they have been preparing and have been waiting all this time. It's time for them to get used to life in high society. On this occasion, the Academy presents the graduates with gifts, white lace dresses with their names embroidered on the belt. By the way, girls cannot read their names. After all this time they have been diligently taught only housework, obedience, and, most importantly, proper skincare. It would seem that everyone is happy. They are in anticipation for the long-awaited change and freedom, but Sophia looks very worried. She persuades Vivien not to take vitamins today, which they are given daily. The girls take the blue capsules one by one in front of the camera, but Vivien still decides to believe her ex-girlfriend. It is very difficult for her. For the first time, she so brazenly breaks all the rules and shows disobedience. As usual, on a signal, Vivien goes to bed. She is surprised her roommates fell asleep so quickly and soundly. But then Sophia runs up and says the girls will not wake up. They are given not vitamins, but sleeping pills. Footsteps are heard in the hallway. Sophia manages to warn Vivien to pretend to be asleep. Mrs. Brixel and two guards enter the bedroom. The guards carry out the sleeping girls indicated by Miss Brixel. One of them is Vivien. Girls in white, elegant dresses are brought into the hall and placed in armchairs. Taking advantage of the fact that the guards left, Vivien opens her eyes and looks around. She has never been here. What is this room? What if she is found out? She's very scared. But now, an unfamiliar, elderly couple comes into the room, accompanied by Mrs. Brixel. She describes to strangers the dignity of the appearance of both girls. The lady is clearly embarrassed, but her companion insists that she make a choice. The name is on the belt of the dress and is written for the convenience of this choice. The lady chooses the second girl. Vivien is carried back to the bedroom. She is shocked. Sponsors do not adopt, but buy them. Sophia persuades her the only way out is to run away from here. From the 13th level, she does not take the vitamins, observing what is happening here at night, and is sure that it is dangerous to remain here. But where to run? All this time, they were constantly told that the outside was poisonous air, unsuitable for life. In the afternoon, the girls are waiting for another event. They get to know Dr. Miro. It turns out that at the 16th level, he regularly examines all of the older girls. Adult students need special attention, Miro notes. The doctor talks with interest to Vivien, smiles, but she already understands that you cannot trust any of the staff here. At night, when everyone fell asleep again after taking the pill, Vivien discusses with Sophia an escape plan. They must get a pass card. This is the only way to save themselves and try to save the rest of the girls. Sophia persuades Vivien to tell everyone what they know, but Vivien is relentless. She understands that they can be betrayed because reporting wrong behavior has always been encouraged here. During a new conversation with Dr. Mirio, Vivien realizes that he sets her apart from all the other girls. This means that she can use it, talk to him, get some information. Viv watches closely as the doctor uses his badge to open the doors. Meanwhile, strange events continue. Some girls get sick after the vaccination given by the doctor. It looks like poisoning, and the injection sites are very inflamed. Sophia insists there is very little time left. They need to act. Under the influence of all these events, at the next examination of Dr. Miro, Vivien loses vigilance and takes off her mask of an obedient student who agrees with everything that is happening. She speaks with the doctor on an equal footing, showing herself to be an intelligent and courageous girl. Surprised by this, the doctor suspects deception on the part of Vivien. He gives her an injection of so-called vitamin concentrate. After a while, Sophia comes to Vivien, who had regained consciousness. At night, she wants to take a pass from one of the guards. After all, he often, hiding from the others, goes into the bedroom of the sleeping girls. Sophia and Vivien had a heated discussion of the plan. Two other girls were watching them. They are surprised that Vivien is openly showing discontent and anger and report her to Mrs. Brixel. Anger is unacceptable here. This is the worst sin, and Brixel punishes Vivien by closing her in a cage. There is a conversation between Mrs. Brixel and Dr. Miro. The doctor reports that their influential patron is demanding more girls. It was he who assigned the guards, who reported everything that happens here. Brixel is afraid that the police will discover them. She reproaches the doctor for not keeping the girls under anesthesia all the time. Miro explains that it is too expensive and, most importantly, it is bad for their skin. When everyone else is asleep, Sophia prepares to carry out the plan on her own. She makes a rope out of bedclothes and waits for the guard to come. He enters the bedroom, choosing another sleeping victim for himself, and Sophia pounces on him from behind and begins to strangle him. A strong man knocks the girl down with one blow. Sophia tries to escape, but the guard catches up with her. It would seem that there is no salvation. But falling to the floor from another blow from the guard, Sophia sees an iron nearby. She hits the guard in the head and he loses consciousness. Sophia finds his pass and runs to the cage where Vivien is sitting. She wants to open the cage, but an alarm sounds and Sophia runs away. She promises Vivien to come back and rescue her. Vivien sobs. She begs not to leave her again, as then, in her distant childhood. After a while, Mrs. Brixel arrives and pulls Viv out of the cage. All the girls are assembled, and Vivien takes her place in their row. Before them are Dr. Miro, Mrs. Brixel, and one of the guards. They are angry. The girls are told that Sophia has done a terrible thing and is punished. But she stole a thing they couldn't find. And until the girls give this thing away, one of them will be punished every day. Dr. Miro chooses the first victim. The guard takes the crying girl out, although she begs not to punish her. The rules have tightened. Now the girls are taking pills under Mrs. Brixel's supervision. She pays special attention to Vivien and makes her take so-called vitamins. Mrs. Brixel is outraged by Viv's cocky look and informs her that the sponsors will pick her up tomorrow. Vivien understands that she no longer has time. At night, she tries to fight the effects of sleeping pills. In a semi-delirious state, the girl finds a pass in Sophia's bed. Vivien rushes to the door, but they do not open. The administration has disabled the stolen pass. Vivien is in complete despair, but then her gaze falls on the door's hinges, and the girl decides to use the pass like a screwdriver. The door is open. Vivien finds herself in the corridor of the administrative part. The action of the pill has not yet stopped, and it is very difficult for her to move. Meanwhile, Mrs. Brixel enters Dr. Miro's office. She looks for something in his desk, leaving her pass nearby. Vivien enters the office. She demands to know where Sophia is. Mrs. Brixel informs her that Sophia is alive and in the basement. Brixel plans to leave the academy for good soon. But first she is going to inject Viv with a dose of tranquilizer. There is a fight between them, and Vivien manages to take away the syringe of medication. She injects Mrs. Brixel and rushes in search of Sophia, grabbing the mentor's pass. The desired freedom is so close. Vivien stands at the door and can finally escape. But a moment of doubt flies by, and Vivien goes down to the basement. She cannot run away and leave her friend. Viv finds Sophia and frees her with Miss Brixel's pass. Sophia's hands are tied, and in search of something to cut the ropes, the girls end up in an underground operating room. Here, the girls will have a terrible discovery. They see a number of sealed bags on the table. Vivien, trembling with fear, opens one of them. There lies the corpse of Rita, a girl whom the guards took away for punishment on the orders of Dr. Miro. The skin was gently removed from her face, exposing the bloody muscles. Vivien and Sophia are horrified. They realize in each of these bags lies a dead girl without a face. This is confirmed by the name tags neatly tied to the legs of the corpses. Vivien insists they must urgently escape, but Sophia cannot leave her friends. She wants to save the rest of the girls. Armed with scalpels, the girls climb the stairs to the front door. Here they part, but Sophia asks Vivien to wait for her. Give her a chance to save everyone and correct her childhood mistake. Sophia will not be able to live feeling like a traitor again. Sophia goes to level 16, and Vivien sees the guard open the door of the floor, where she has never been, and leaves the door unlocked. The girl decides to see what is there. She enters an ornate study. There is a huge screen on the wall. After touching it, Vivien turns on a commercial. In it, Dr. Miro and Mrs. Brixel offer rejuvenation services at the Vestalis Clinic. Everything is extremely simple. The client chooses the face he would like to have. The donor girl is given synthetic drugs all the time. They ensure that the DNA of the donor and the client completely matches. This means that the skin will take root painlessly and quickly. Vivien is in complete shock. She cannot believe in the reality of what is happening. At this time, Sophia is trying to explain what is happening to the rest of the girls, but they refuse to believe her. At the last minute, when the girls had already decided to call the guards and turn Sophia in, Vivien enters the room. She leads Miss Brixel, whose hands are tied. The lady is clearly not herself. An injection of drugs and a suddenly awakened conscience force her to confess. The girls understand with horror. They were not saved. They were not prepared for adoption. They were raised like sheep on a farm, waiting for a buyer. They climb the steep stairs out of the building, but when they try to open the front door, a siren sounds. The girls run around the yard, hoping to escape. The air is not poisoned. They breathe calmly. One of the guards attacks Vivien and Sophia. After a short fight, Vivien manages to push the guard down. He is dead, but managed to wound Sophia. Reinforcements for the guards arrive, and everyone scatters in all directions. Vivien and Sophia run into a small room and block the doors. Dr. Miro comes to the negotiations. He persuades Vivien to return. To the girls' accusations, the doctor replies that he saved them all from poverty and the parents who voluntarily sold their children. He provided them with shelter, food, safety, and the fact that they will then go under the knife is their fate. Dr. Miro once again emphasizes the uniqueness of Vivien, assures that she is not like the others. He is ready to save her and offers Vivien a deal. Everyone else, including Sophia, returns to the house to await their fate. Vivien helps to collect all the escaped girls and will be free. But Viv doesn't believe the doctor. She asks how much money he planned to get for her and how much is her face worth. Dr. Miro answers honestly. He spent 16 years of his life on this face. It is priceless, and he will not leave without it. Vivien understands that it was prepared for a special client. Its value is really great. This is its peculiarity. Slowly raising her hand with a scalpel, the girl furiously cuts her face in front of the doctor and guards, sobbing in pain and anger. The guards, realizing that the goods are hopelessly spoiled, call someone. They inform Dr. Miro that the boss wants him to come, and he doesn't like to wait. Miro makes excuses. He will find a way out. He will fix everything. But the guards take him away. Soon, the girls hear the clap of shots, and everything becomes quiet. In the morning, the police knock down the door to the room where Vivien and Sophia are sitting. The girls go outside. It's raining. They cry, holding hands and looking at the sun for the first time in their lives. Raindrops and tears run down their faces. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, and in the comments, suggest films that you would like to see in our performance. Until next time.